Hi, Aquarius. Scorpio season reading, fellow fixed sign. I get the sense that you feel somewhat relieved. I'm also getting some of the chills right now. This is your November reading. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version to this reading, which will be in the first link below, either the day that this comes out or the day after. So come back and check, like, subscribe, share with your people. I really appreciate it. Scorpio season for you is a season where you can feel powerful coming into it, especially your ability to connect with not only money at this time, but your values, what you find a sense of security, safety, purpose in, and also while also being kind of, there's this like level-headedness to it where you also have the ability to look outside, engage with nature, engage with your nature, your surroundings, whatever that looks like for you at this time, because you've been feeling a sense that things have been shifting, and you finally feel the relief of a lot of tension that may have happened and have been felt in the past few weeks or months. You notice that it affects what you are. This affects and changes how your outlook on your life. This month, you may find yourself wandering in thought more often. You may be wondering, and maybe even wanting to ask yourself, and maybe even now asking yourself, or I think you should ask yourself, how you can use this energy during this time in a way that is and gives you energy that connects with whatever you consider your purpose to be, whatever you consider your path to be, why you're here. Maybe you put more thought into that, and there's like a lot of built up magic behind it and behind the patience that I don't think people realize you have patience for certain things, like in a very specific way that causes you to you are a fixed sign, so that comes from your fixed nature. But I think it's underappreciated sometimes. And this month, whether or not people speak that appreciation, it will be felt from those people that you do connect with, or that you are even surprised by, that you have realized where your strengths, it's this way, and your weakness lie in your patience with yourself, with your nature, with your own decision making, right? This eclipse was almost refreshing for you, because as connected as you are and as valued as you are becoming, you also find yourself thinking of other options, wanting to have and having somewhat of one foot out the door, physically, but mentally maybe entirely out the door. And what this reveals to you is how quickly you're able to revert back in your mind when you don't want to see it all the way through. When you're not ready to see that future or to visualize what is happening, because what you know, and if you didn't, one of your strengths is, what I think one of your strengths is, and one is that when you visualize something so clearly in the way that you do and have that vision, you also then in turn trust life's process with you. Because it's like this agreement you've made. You're like, okay, Libra season made me realize there are some agreements or some things I have committed to that, I think I need to reconsider. And I need to take a look at in a way that where it serves me a little bit more, or something of that sort. There will be many temptations to be distracted from what's really important this month. If you really do want to see this through, it's really important that you realize that you can still have a balanced life if you choose to move forward in a new way. That you can still, we have like whole circles here. We have these 3 of Cups coming from that 4 of Cups. So you really are looking back at a time maybe when you felt more fortunate, or you felt more like, when does the cycle get to come back? Because you've had Saturn, and Saturn's going to be pretty close to your degrees, especially if you're a late degree Aquarius. So if you do feel those edges this month, you should go check more into that, or check out the extended link. We'll intuitively get into that below. But what you realize is maybe you indulged too much in what that had once brought you, but it now brings you to a place where you're maybe resisting that feeling even greater into your next chapter. Maybe you'll have that and more. You just have to be willing to commit fully to move forward with your body, not just your mind, when the opportunities present themselves, because they will. And if you're in that mindset, it's possible that you won't see it. And we want you to see it. Yes, we want you to see it and things to move quickly. It's possible you also just need to have some fun during this change. It's like nice to dream. It's nice to think all of these things, but you may need to have some fun, and that does breed deeper intimacy for sure. I believe that's said somewhere. Go find it. But what it causes is another fixed sign, another full circle. Now this one's with sun rays, where having this enjoyment solidifies the stability and also clarifies whatever just hasn't been working or kind of been feeding your ego, like certain dreams or certain temptations. And where these cause you to be even more creative. Maybe you put these temptations into your creativity. Ooh, this month, ooh. Maybe just for yourself, but maybe it's for the enjoyment that for others as well. Venus being opposite you retrograde for a while this summer. So for some of you, this is bringing you back to maybe this sense of self that you found yourself in for a long period of time just a few months ago, and then Venus moved into Virgo, and it had you shift your focus a little, and then Venus will also be moving into Libra very soon, and that will make things very clear and easier for you to break free from whatever it is that you do need to break free from at this time. Because what's very obvious and clear to you is that, yes, you have done the hard work, and what I was saying before and how this comes back to that is having the confidence in your mind and how you think, knowing that whether or not you have a family, or you want that in the future, of course it will affect it, but knowing that this person in your life, if they're currently in your life, or the person who will be in your life in the future, or yes, we're just going to go with that, you will have the confidence of knowing that they choose you just as much as you choose them, because you're not waiting to show that part of yourself until the time comes, that you're just integrating this part of yourself, which brings you towards a time in your life where you can enjoy the hard work that you've done and that you've been doing. This is like that last, this is a long reading, but I really love it for you. This is you getting to really see all of your effort, how it's worked, maybe how it hasn't, but mostly showing you where it has worked or where it has been implemented in a way that is locking into your fixed nature at this time, where it will bring you more enjoyment. It's like you becoming and seeing more of yourself in this way that is not just what you've settled for or fence yourself in to be. You're opening up the fence. It's funny the Ace of Pentacles is not out, but I imagine the Ace of Pentacles, you know, like the hand's out, but then there's like a gate in the back. This is like your entryway into the next chapter. This is when the gates finally close in that way, where hard work will always need to be done, but not like it has been in the past. I would say 4 years, I'd say, like this back and forth, the shifting, like when Saturn begins its transit, because it's so long, we get little tastes of each sign before it really gets in and moves into it, right? So now Pisces is going through that time. And something I learned along the way, that if you have your sun sign is in, for those of you watching this for your sun sign, but you can watch it for your rising as well, is that when your natal sun is being transited by Saturn, whether or not your Saturn is in that placement or in that planet, or your Saturn is in that sign, I'm sorry, Saturn is whether or not Saturn is in your natal Saturn sign, if Saturn is transiting your natal sun sign, which Aquarius, it could feel like a Saturn return, or more or less depending on how it affects you and your unique chart situation. So you're finally gaining headway. It doesn't feel like you're doing work and being pulled back and doing work and being pulled back. You don't find that there's a struggle anymore by the end of the month. When Sagittarius season comes, it's like a clean slate, and it's like the perfect entryway into Sagittarius season, because you're seeing things as they really are in the beginning and getting this time to go into the midst of Scorpio season, where it can get very heavy, very heady, very hard for some people, right? You're taking it and seeing it as this moment to realize like what's actually important right now, and anything else that is also important that is in your mind or has been on your list will fall into place, or you can consciously implement it, but leave what you need to the side for now and move forward with what you've worked so hard on, regardless if you're staying in that certain section of a career, if you're staying in that same umbrella of a career. There could be something shifting in terms of where you find yourself wanting to be within a company. Maybe you want to change course a little. That this has taught you that you've probably done harder, right? But if this is the hardest time in your life, and for some of you, I know it is, we all go through our changes at different times. Recognize how you've handled it and where you are now, and how that confidently moves you in this direction. We have 6-6 at the bottom, right next to the ace. And yes, it is. And that's the spiral inward, right? The 6. But it's all about connecting in with yourself. This time, this very one-on-one time. There's not a lot of many people. There are times where you'll see people throughout this month, very unique situations, but this month is really about your direction, where you're going. You may have to have those conversations with your people for sure, but when you're with them, you just enjoy them. It's not really about, that's the intimate moments that you're needing. That's what brings like the fruits, the ideas. That's maybe where you find your gratitude. Maybe you even have some tears of joy. But that's what's building subconsciously to open up into this new chapter, this new idea, these things that you want to do. Now that you feel like, of course I can do them. And in Sagittarius season, you'll get started on that. We'll get into that next month. I'm actually really looking forward to it, Aquarius. It's a fruitful, prosperous time. It's the season of sexuality, sensuality, intimacy, and having these fruitful moments with ourselves, and maybe even getting a little lost and dreamy along the way. Just remember to stay grounded, stay healthy, and we'll see you next month. And in the link below, there will be the extended reading.